Welcome to our CS1 Game Engine Avatar Creation Training. We'll start out by going to our Google Classroom. And as we go to our Google Classroom, you're going to find an important file in the Blender training area under the Classwork tab. So if you go to Blender Training 3, you can find that there is at least one Vox file there, and this will be the file that you want to download. And that's what we'll do, is we'll download that file. And there we have it. Once we've obtained that file, we can go ahead and, right now, close out of Chrome. We're going to open up the Magica Voxel software, which, if you don't already have it, you can get it from the self-service application. So let's get the Magica Voxel software opened up here. And once we have Magica Voxel open up, we're going to then open the file that we just downloaded. And I think this is the second one that I downloaded like that. So this is essentially the file you start with. It's a basic voxel style model, and it has some of the essential features that we want to maintain even as you're editing this and making it your own. The first feature I'd like to call attention to is this feature of the elbow, where the upper and lower arms meet. They are meeting at a single edge. And we want that same type of geometry, if you will, to be the case for the knee as well, or the knees, where the upper leg and the lower leg meet at one single edge. And what we will do in the animation of this character is we will be making this mesh move. And by having these types of joints, it enables the avatar to move in such a way that it looks much better. We don't have the faces of the mesh intersecting each other and creating these weird artifacts. A third aspect that we want to maintain is the neck. We want to maintain the neck on this character. Other than that, you can go forward and edit the character as you see fit. For right now, I'll just go ahead and make a few brief adjustments just to illustrate maybe a process that you might end up going through. So I'll go ahead and do a little adaptive process here. Perhaps I'll use that same red on the shirt as well. And I'll use box paint. And I'll go over here and make a nice pattern. Noticing that I've now got this pattern going, I will proceed with very simple completion of that. And maybe I'll change the pant color. Perhaps I'll make the pant color to more of a blue jeans color. And I think I'm okay with that. Okay. Now that I've edited that character, and you can take more time to edit your character, and you can give it hair instead of a hat, or no hair, or different hat. What I'm going to do then is save it first. I'm going to save the file. I'll save it right now to my desktop as a Vox file. We will be turning this one in, and I'll go over here and put modified. Chip modified. I'll save that to my desktop. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to export down in the bottom right an OBJ. OBJ is actually going to export 3 different files. So let's click OBJ. We'll export that to the desktop as well. So we will get, as a result of this, 3 different files on our desktop. And the 3 files we will end up getting are going to be an OBJ, an MTL, and a PNG file. So let me go ahead and take a look at those files on the desktop. And here they are. We have an OBJ, MTL, and a PNG file. Now that we have those, along with our Vox file that we saved here as well, I can go ahead and quit Magic of Voxel for now. I'm going to create a folder with which I'm going to put these files in. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to call this chip. I'm going to grab the MTL, the OBJ, and the PNG files, those 3 files, and I'm going to place those 3 files into this folder. After placing those 3 files into the folder, I'm going to right-click on the folder and compress it into a zip file. I'm going to be using this zip file in just a moment, and I will be taking that zip file and I will be putting the zip file into a website called Mixamo. So that is the second step. So the next step is to go to Chrome, and we'll go to the website called mixamo.com. At Mixamo, you can just log in with Google. After you've logged in at Mixamo with Google, you can upload your character by clicking the Upload Character button. And you can click here and get your zip file from your desktop. So if I go to my desktop, you can see my zip file. It will load the character into the website. Once the character is loaded, we will go through the process of applying some markers that will help rig our character. So let's go next. And we're going to apply these markers. Apply the chin marker to the chin. Make sure it's over the mesh. Make sure it's over top of the mesh. It's important that it's placed properly over the mesh. And we got the knees. And we got the groin. Let's change the skeleton level of detail to 2 chain fingers. So the skeleton level of detail, LOD, should be 2 chain fingers. And next. This is the process of auto rigging. And the rigging that's going on here is basically applying an armature, which is a skeleton, to our character, enabling it to be animated in an easy fashion. So in a moment, our character will come to life and we will be able to apply some animations to it. So here's our character. And now it's time to go and apply some animations to it. So I'm going to put talking. So you should get a talking or similar idle style animation. So I'm going to grab a talking animation with looking down here at these frames. Ultimately, these frames are computationally costly. If you can get something with less frames that you're happy with, that will be better. Then we're going to click download. And we are going to download it with the skin for this particular download. So I'm going to download this talking animation with the skin. And there we have it. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a running animation. So we're going to go running. And find this first running animation here. And click in place. And then we'll click download without the skin. And we'll click download without the skin. Once we have those 2 files, we are good to go. So we can close Chrome at that point. The next thing we'll do is we will open up Blender. So let's open Blender. If you don't have Blender, you can download Blender 2.90.1 and mount the volume and run the program. In Blender, we'll click to the side of the splash screen and we will get rid of the default cube. I will first turn on the screencast keys right over here. And you can see that, for example, I pressed the N key. Next thing I'll do is I'll press X and return to get rid of the cube in the center, making sure that the cube was selected first. Okay, now we can import FBX and go to the downloads and get that talking FBX. It will bring in our model, but very small. So we're going to tap the S key and then drag away from the center until we can see our model. And then we're going to click the top right, the second circle in for the dev shader. And upon clicking that, we'll be able to see the colors of our texture. Now you can use 2 fingers on the trackpad and pull them apart to zoom in. And click on the Y up here and click on the Y again to look straight on. And hold the Shift key and 2 fingers on the trackpad to drag down. You can pull your 2 fingers apart to zoom in a little bit more. Next, we're going to resize the model by clicking on the Measure tool. And we're going to click down here and measure how far to the center of the eye. So currently it's at 0.74, but we want it to be 1.6. So the way this works is you take 1.6 divided by whatever your current measurement to the center of the eye is. So let's open Google Chrome for that. And let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to take 1.6 and divide it by 0.74, because for us, 0.74 is the current value. For you, it will be different. But 1.6 divided by 0.74, that gives me the scale factor I want to apply, which in this case is 2.16. So I'll go back in here. I'm going to go S 2.16. Now I can zoom out a little bit and I can check the height of my character's eyes now. If I lift up, now it's exactly how I want it, 1.6 meters. Perfect. Now I can go ahead and close out of Chrome. Now that I have the correct size for my character, I'm just going to verify that my animations or my current animation works. I'm going to press the space key, space bar, and then I'm going to press the space bar again to stop it. So my animation is perfectly fine. I'm going to then go into the top right, into the outline of the scene collection. I'm going to double click on what currently says armature. I'm going to change that to, say, character. So with capital C, CHARACTER. So I'm going to change that to character. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to take the bottom window and I'm going to pull it up so it's larger. And then I am going to switch the type of editor in the bottom to be instead a dope sheet with the action editor view. And over here, we're going to rename this. I'm going to click in here and go Command A. And I'm going to rename that idle with a lowercase I. Hit return. Now that I've renamed that particular animation, I'm going to push it down by clicking push down. That makes it available for exporting. The next thing I will do is I will go and import the second animation. So we'll go import FBX. This time it's going to be the running animation. So once we import the running animation, you'll see it, the animation data will appear here. We'll click in here and we'll rename that WALK, lowercase, walk. And then we're going to go up to the outline and select the character. And then go to this drop-down menu here and select walk. And then we're going to push down the walk on the character. Once we've done that, we're going to get rid of the animation armature that we just brought in. So we're going to get rid of the one that we just brought in. We're going to keep the character, but we're going to get rid of the one we just brought in by right-clicking and delete. We're also just going to get rid of the light, which is unnecessary, and get rid of the camera as well. We're going to delete both of those, so we're only left with the character. And then we're going to change this bottom editor to a shader editor and click on the character. And we're going to take a look at this shader. Clicking down into the shader editor window, press Control and then tap the space bar and zoom in by holding your two fingers and zooming in and pulling out with your fingers on the touchpad. Hold Shift and drag with your two fingers to move to look at this particular part of the shader node graph. And we're going to go ahead and drag the metallic value down to 0. We'll take the roughness value up a little bit, somewhere around 0.7. We'll take the sheen tint down to around 0.25, in the neighborhood of that, somewhere near there. Okay, so we took the metallic down to 0. We took the roughness about up to 0.7. We took the sheen tint to approximately 0.25. Now we're going to go ahead and press Control, tap the space bar again, and now we can return back to our previous window layout. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and save our Blender file first, so we can come back to this later if we want to. We'll save that. Just put it on the desktop. We'll just call this chip, and I'll save that Blender file. Next thing we'll do after that is to export a GLTF. So we're going to export the GLTF next to the desktop. And once we've exported that GLTF model, we've saved our Blender file. Now we can go ahead and quit Blender. We can now open up Chrome once again. So there we go. Open up Chrome again. Once we open up Chrome, we can go to bit.ly/GLTF-viewer, and that will open up this viewer that we can just inspect our model before we go any further. So we'll click Upload, go to our desktop, and we'll choose the GLB file that we just exported. And there it is. And we'll take a look at this file here. Take a look at the model. There's the animation we call the idle. And if we switch it over here, there is the animation that we're calling walk. I know it's a run, but there's a reason that we're doing this. So there's our two animations. That's what we need. Go ahead and you don't have to worry about those warnings. Okay. So with that done, we verified that our model has the appropriate animations. We're now going to make a new remix of the game. So we're going to go bit.ly/CS1-clean-remix. And that will give us a brand new CS1 game engine project, which we will rename and add another account to after we rename it and create an admin key. So we'll give this a moment to get up and running. I'm going to call this Anim55. I'm going to give it an admin key. All right, now I'm going to go to the assets, and I'm going to put that file, that GLB file, into the assets. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab that GLB file, put it into the assets. So that file is now down here in the bottom of this asset area. I'm going to go ahead and copy the URL to that avatar file. Copy the URL. And now we can literally stay here. We don't even have to open the IDE. We can stay right in here and do what we need to do. But we are going to use the IDE because it makes it simpler. So we are going to use the IDE to make it simpler. So let's go ahead to cs1-ide.glitch.me. We're going to open up the IDE, and we're going to log into the IDE with our project. So it's going to be Canon, in this case 55, and with our login, and we'll go ahead then and proceed with this workflow, which is to go into lesson 3, because this is the file that we want to edit right over here. This is our configuration file. We're going to maximize the code editor, and on line 19, we are going to get rid of, so we're going to go over here on line 19, and on line 19, we're going to get rid of the current link that is there, and we're going to paste in our new link for our new model. So we're going to go ahead and paste in the new link on line 19. We're also going to change on line 22, we're going to change the scale to 1.0. So the two lines that we've changed are line 19, we've changed the link there. And then on line 22, we changed the scale to 1.0. Then we're going to go to the top right and click the save. And then after that, click the build, or the what we call the wrench icon. After you saved, click the wrench. Then we'll wait for the build to complete. We'll look at this particular area called the logging area down here. And we'll look for evidence that the build has completed before going further. And there we have, the build has completed. Awesome. Next thing we will do is we will open up the admin app. So cs1-admin.glitch.me. So cs1-admin.glitch.me. We'll go over here to create another account so that we can see our new avatar. So we're going to go over here, the admin 55, we'll log in. Right. Over here, now that we've done that, we can go ahead and add a new password by clicking on the name over here. So Diana, I'll use that. And then I will change the password to 1234 for now. And then I'll click over on the orange square to create the new account. So now I have two accounts, and we'll use both of those accounts. So I have Diana and I have admin. So we're done with the admin app, so we can close that. We're going to go up here and show the game in a new window. And we'll actually set this so we have two different windows side by side. So I'll put that window there. I'll create another window and I'll pull it away from the original window. There we go. I'll copy the URL and I'll paste it over here into the other window. So we have two logins. I'll log in on the first one over here on the right. I'll log in with admin and my password, the admin key.
This world can be anything you dream it to be. A carnival, a haunted house, a city, anything. It is all up to you. You have the power to create. May inspiration dwell in you forever.
The next thing I'll do is I will press the back quote key and I will choose the chip avatar. That's the one that we edited. So we'll choose the chip avatar. Press the back quote key again. And then we'll log in with the second account, which is Diana in this case, with the password that we just set.
has joined the game. This world can be anything you dream it to be. A carnival, a haunted house, a city, anything. It is all up to you. You have the power to create. May inspiration dwell in you forever.
So we can go ahead and illustrate the running animation here of our new character. New character that we just created. New avatar. That's the process. Let's go ahead and just put the files into the Google Classroom, and that will be the last step of the process. So let me just point out the files that you have to put in now as we take on the last step in this. So the last step is to go ahead and go to Google Classroom and upload the files. So let's go ahead and go into the classwork tab. So first of all, under Magic of Voxel, you want to go to Magic of Voxel training. You want to go to the avatar concept file turn in, and that's where you want to turn in your Vox file. So the file that you made at the beginning and exported, the .vox file that you saved, and you're going to upload that here. And then under the Blender training area, Blender training 3, you're going to upload the file, the GLB file that has the animations. So this is the actual file that has the avatar with all the animations already, the same one that you put in the game. And those are the files you turn in. And that's the entire process. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.